Cool. All right, guys. Hey, welcome back to our second episode of the show. We're doing Marvel Phase 2 movies, rewatch order. And in this phase, the order is different. We're starting with Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, Captain America Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. I know. Age of Ultron, then Ant-Man. And just for disclaimer, Lou has not watched all the movies. I didn't watch all. I've watched most of them recently. So,
Well, the disclaimer is Thor 2 is the worst Thor movie ever made. Guardians 1 and Volumes 1 and 2, they're boring after you watch them once. And I don't care for Ant-Man was a fun movie when it came out, but I really don't care for Ant-Man again. I will say that I enjoyed Iron Man 3. I really dug Winter Soldier again. And I found Age of Ultron to be a little more entertaining this time around.
Okay, so that's a nice summary there. For me, Iron Man 3, I understood it a bit more. I felt like they messed up a lot of things. There were things they could have done better with Iron Man 3.
Yeah, but I agree with you. But you're bringing in a director that's really this isn't his wheelhouse.
It doesn't. I don't care about what director. No, I'm just saying the movie itself, what they would try to do. I get it, and I get the PTSD. I didn't feel the sense when I watched it then. Now I do because I've watched all the Marvel. You kind of go back, you get it much better. But Iron Man 3 wasn't as bad as I always made claim to be. I just hated the Mandarin at the end. I look at that movie as all the way to the point where you realize the Mandarin is what's his name?
Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce. That, like, to me, the movie was fine where I was hoping for an end where this person truly still is the man, like an end credit scene. Then I would go, okay, all right, cool. The Mandarin it's not playing dirty games here. That's cool. I like it. But to me, that really took me out of that. Winter Soldier, to me, it's either the best or second best Marvel movie. Like I said, for me, Black Panther is taking that. But again, I have to rewatch it a couple of times. But Winter Soldier always hits the mark for me. So I'll still keep it. I'll say it's the best for now, just for that. Guardians 1 and 2, I do agree with you, especially 2. 2 is the hardest to watch again. 1, I can still watch it, or at least I can have 1 in the background and do stuff. 2 really doesn't nail it.
That Ego, that villain just didn't pan out for me.
Same thing with Ant-Man. I watched it. I don't really enjoy it watching again. Age of Ultron, I haven't finished it. I was just watching before we started. But after watching all the Marvel movies, Age of Ultron is a much better movie than I give it credit for, except he doesn't do all the things he's supposed to do well. So Age of Ultron hinted at all the Infinity Stones in there. Thor's dream, which was taken out in the theatrical cut, but I have the extended cut here. So Thor's dream in Age of Ultron, where he sees all the Infinity Stones come together. There are a lot of things that they hint at all the other movies. Wakanda was placed in there. Like, all those things are there. It just didn't feel cohesive enough.
Well, what do you expect? Hot Thor time machine. I don't know. I like the fight in Wakanda with the Hulk and
that was the. Thank you for bringing that up. Because that was that's the best scene in the whole movie, but also has the worst grievances. This is my specific grievance. So they said that wasn't Wakanda. They said African coast. So I will give them a little slight credit because they didn't say what African coast that was. Except I didn't like. They should have just picked a country and said what country it was, because one of the things I thought was just a big, but also could be no error, was when the police came out, when Hulk was turned. There were white police officers. Now it could be South Africa, it could be, but it also could be somewhere else. So the fact that they just called it African coast, and I saw like white cops coming out as well, white cops and then a few black cops, I was like, just call it South Africa and be done with, so you don't have that kind of issue in there. but I thought it was one where they had, Age of Ultron could have been a much, much, much better movie. I thought it was okay. And then Thor: The Dark World. I watched that again recently, and Thor: The Dark World had a lot of missteps. If you think about the story of Thor: The Dark World itself, the story itself of the Ether and the Dark Elves, just that aspect could have been awesome if it was done differently.
Yeah, take Jane out the picture.
No, it's no. To me, having Jane in the picture was not the issue.
Yeah, it was, bro. It was a freaking love story.
It was that was not even the issue with that movie. Having her in the movie was not the issue. The issue with the movie was the fact that it felt like a disconnect from every other movie. Thor 1, even though it was separated, felt like a connection in there. This felt like a thing. How do you have a massive ship fly through London and Shield? You couldn't get to Shield because their phone is disconnected. Really? Like,
yeah. But then Agent Coulson comes in the next week to do cleanup.
And again, like some of the things they did in there, the way they even the attack on Asgard, which was ingenious a little bit, but also was terrible. Like, to me, it just wasn't. They had the right story idea. The execution of the story idea is bad, because I get it. And in Thor comic books, it's been like that. It's not, you may call it a love story. In the comic books, Thor will always prioritize Jane like at the same level as everybody else. So I can see him doing like, no, I'll take her away and all that kind of stuff. But it's just the way it was written. To me, that's fine as long as you just write it well. And they just didn't do a good job in that aspect. Although when he fought the guy, the big massive dude that took like the ether and changed himself, that was a few times you saw Thor fight somebody who basically could take him on. Remember, the guy smacked his hammer away too at the same time. So I again, for me, that part I was happy, because Marvel fights, we don't see a lot of stuff in there in terms of like, fight scenes. But yeah, let's go back to Iron Man 3. Let's start off with that. What did you think of Iron Man 3 as a? I mean, we've talked about as a whole, but what are the things you liked from Iron Man 3?
It was an Iron Man movie without really using the suit.
Yeah, I think I do agree. The PTSD aspect of it, I appreciate it more now. But again, it
makes sense
now
because of the way. Well, it did then as well, because I believe that was the next one that came after the first Avengers movie.
Yeah, the reason why I say it doesn't make sense is the way the movie starts. The movie doesn't start with him having PTSD. The PTSD shows up about 20 or 30 minutes in the movie. So we don't get to feel like the movie starts off with in the past with Tony's talking to that botanist girl.
Well, but you think of what it's all explained at the end credit scene with the Hulk.
Yeah, I know.
Bruce Banner, where he was telling Bruce Banner that story. So
it doesn't connect well because of the.
For you, it didn't, but to me, I thought it connected great.
To me, it just didn't connect well because it's such a disconnect. I wanted to see the PTSD. Like, remember when he was sleeping with Pepper and then he almost attacked her? I wanted to see that scene earlier. Just give me that, move that scene earlier. Then I know he has issues.
Well, you knew he had issues when Jarvis told them, "Sir, you've been working for over 72 hours with no sleep."
Yeah, but I get that. Remember, in the way all those dialogues with Jarvis are almost quick dialogues, right? They never sink in because he just says something else and moves on, right? There's no like take it in. So I mean, I get it. I got the scene. I mean, Pepper having powers as extremist. So the extremist thing, they took it differently. In the comic books, extremist, he actually made a suit from extremist as well. Iron Man.
Did she lose that power?
He said he fixed Pepper. So at the end, they didn't show it, but he said he did.
Okay. Because that was an interesting one too. And then we get him where he had the open heart surgery, but yet, do they retcon it? Does he still wear the thing? Like, hello.
In his clothing, it's not in his suit.
It's not in his chest no more. It's just a piece of his clothing.
Because if you notice in Civil War, you don't see that, right? You just see him in the suits whenever he's wearing a suit. That's it, right? I mean, the Iron Man suit. In Infinity War, that chest piece that he's wearing is where it's like a Black Panther suit. That's where his suit comes from as well. So that's the same thing that he does in this one. So it's not retcon. He just wears it all the time. So he has a suit all the time. And that's also his most powerful suit. So it's a mixture of, I think it's a mixture of extremists and a few other things like comic book ideas in there. But I mean, I definitely hear you on that one. So, so you watched Iron Man 3. Did you watch Dark World again? You did, right? No, you didn't.
I skipped it.
Okay, let's talk about Winter Soldier. We already talked about Dark World anyway. Let's talk about Winter Soldier. To me, the crown jewel of all the Marvel movies in terms of one of the best movies made.
Yeah, that movie took me 3 days to watch, though.
Why?
Your Plex kept losing server.
Well.
So I finally finished it. I had to go to the thing that sucks is Netflix don't have it. Stupid Netflix.
It's not stupid. It's just agreements. It's all leased for a certain period of time.
Dumb crap.
That's what happens. But anyway, Winter Soldier. Thoughts?
Great movie. It was just fun from beginning to end. Well balanced story.
I agree. Yeah. Very well balanced. I think as a movie, that was structurally sound from beginning to end. Very few plot holes I'll complain about. I'm almost very, very, very limited in terms of plot. I mean, there are some things, but hey, whatever. I found it just well balanced. I enjoyed it quite well. I enjoyed how, the story took you in. You understood where Bucky has been. You understood how deep Hydra is connected. Robert Redford was a great villain. I wish they had done more with him. I wish also, to a certain degree, I get it with the way they wrote their story. They couldn't do that way, but I wish we found out he was the villain a little later than when we found out he was a villain, just because he played such a coy character in that for a while. So I like that aspect, but I thought it was spot on.
Such a shame that we had to lose 3 brilliant helicarriers.
They had to, but again, like that.
I get that you had to do it, but man,
that always comes to my own problem with Marvel movies is the amount of death toll in that scene alone. In DC, it was massive amounts. Same thing with.
Really? Was it? I mean, all the deaths seem to happen in the base and on the helicarriers. They all crash back into the base.
Let me tell you how they do it. So this is the problem that I'm not trying to do Marvel or DC. Just a very different style in terms of what they do. When a Marvel scene is going on, like the helicarrier scene in Captain America: Winter Soldier, or in Age of Ultron when Hulk is fighting in the city with.
Yeah, I noticed that.
You saw cars would flip, but it just flipped past a human being. It didn't destroy anything. It was like they fought within the street, and then they went through empty buildings. And even when Hulk pushed Iron Man into the elevator only slightly crumbled, and then Iron Man saved everybody at the elevator. Like they do, they specifically.
The problem with the one scene where the Hulk flung the car. I'm sorry, he flung a car where 2 cops were literally stationed right behind it.
And then it rolled to the right. Yeah. I saw that.
And they got up like nothing happened to them. So, yeah, no. They should have been dead as soon as that car flipped on them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they do. In the Marvel side is different. As opposed to like DC, you take Man of Steel, for instance. Man of Steel was like no holds bars. It was like, if these guys punch, everybody within a 1 mile square radius will feel it in some form of fashion. And they put that into account in that way. And a lot of people complain about death tolls, but for me, I actually prefer it more like that. not because I'm a DC fan, but because I know that that's how strong these characters are supposed to be. But that's something they try to address in Phase 3, the Phase 3 movies with Civil War. But we'll get to that. Let's talk about Guardians 1 and 2. I know we didn't watch it again, but let's go with Guardians 1 first. Guardians Volume 2 is fresh, but 1 is something that at the time, and also I watched it recently too, so it's not like I haven't watched Guardians at all. Guardians was fun. It was a fun movie. I think what helped me with Guardians the most was the soundtrack. That was one of the best mixture of old school soundtracks in the movie that worked out pretty well. In terms of power levels, you know me. I complained about that movie already. It doesn't power levels. So
It was a fun movie from beginning to end. I thought it was fun when I watched it. I watched that one multiple times. It's just during this rewatch thing, there's just movies I really do not care to see again.
Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you do a rewatch, right? Some movies are harder to watch, some are difficult.
It wasn't even the harder to watch. Like I probably would have watched Phase 1 easily because all those movies I could sit back and watch again. I liked Iron Man 1. I enjoyed 2. I would have dug that order. It was just I was focused on something else, and that took my priority away from that sequence.
All right.
So this one here, I didn't have that problem. It was just I started with Iron Man 3. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do a movie a day.
Mm-hmm.
Started Iron Man 3, had a few little server issues, but worked through them. Everything played flawlessly. Started the next movie, which was what I think Thor came next. I'm like, yeah, I'm skipping Thor. Then I did, the Winter Soldier. That one took me 2.5 days because of Plex issues. But then I was like, I'm not watching Guardians 1 and 2 because I just don't care. The cast is good, but it's not something that's going to bring me back, especially 2. I'm sorry, Ego just wasn't a villain that kept you. And I've only literally seen that movie once in the theater.
I've seen Guardians once in theater, and I've seen it again recently, but it's taken me a while to watch it. Guardians 2 was more difficult to watch. When I watched it in theaters, I said it was fun, but not as good as, so Guardians 2 had a lot of praise. A lot of people said one of the best movies ever, blah, 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 this and that. And I left the theaters. All my friends were like, oh, it's pretty good. I was like, nah. I was like, it was funny, but they tried too hard, and I didn't get the point. I mean, I got what they were trying to do, but I was like, And again,
I'm kind of worried now.
What?
I don't know if I want James Gunn back for the third one.
I mean, we'll see. I think James Gunn is the one who's going to be managing things moving forward. So he's handling Phase. I think he might be handling Phase 4. I'm thinking
he's handling the cosmic side of things.
Yeah. So
I don't know if I want him handling the cosmic thing. I'm starting to feel that Michael Bay effect with Transformers.
I wouldn't. No, I think he overdid it. I don't see because I think what it was he looked at 1, tried to replicate 1 with 2, and then just added. Think about 2, right? Take Ego aside, the whole thing with Ego as a villain and all that, but 2 was fine. It's just the fact that, to me, one of the worst parts of 2 is the jokes went too far. Because then you just say it's a good Marvel movie with bad villain, right? That's literally what happens half the time, But he went way too far on the jokes. And sometimes I was like, is that necessary? They've turned Drax into a jokester, For instance, even in Infinity War, we see the line where you've all seen the clips. The clips out there. They drag Thor in, and then Gamora's like, oh my God, I can see Gamora gushing over him, and then he gushes over him also. Look at him, man, he's made of this and this and that, and
he's a man's man.
I mean, I'm not saying it's not a funny line. It just starts to it makes that character. Drax has fought and almost beaten Thanos in the comic books. This is the Drax we have. So put that into perspective. That's why. So for me, this kind of things got kind of I look at it and go, okay, that's what you guys want to do. Fine. It's like how I was complaining with Arrow, for instance. Mr. Terrific is one of the smartest people in DC Universe. Is a fighter, and his T spheres are second to none. And look at what we have in Arrow TV show. Just saying. So
yeah, don't get me started on that show.
So yeah, so that's how it is, and I think it's just the way it was positioned with 2, and I think that's somewhere they need to do some work to.
I'm wondering if it plays better being back to back like that.
I mean, it probably does. It probably does play a little bit better. I mean, I'll still put it on and check it out. I think just the flow, because there's nothing that connects that universe, especially one to another movie. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
So playing those 2 back to back makes sense. And also the reason why this is Guardians 2 is in our phase 2 watch through is because it makes more sense, because by the time they come to Earth or find Thor, it's not part of the universe galaxy. It's a long journey. So.
And I believe, what was it? Ultron was next. But Ant-Man is the one that ends it.
Yeah, Age of Ultron.
I said I enjoyed it this time around.
Mm-hmm.
I can still do without the farm scene, but I get it. They were hiding out.
I mean, the farm scene was a slowdown scene. Like to me, the farm scene actually is fine. What took me away from the farm scene was that whole thing with Black Widow and the Hulk, and saying that she couldn't get pregnant. Like, I didn't like that they included that in there, because it's not really part of her history and something they made up. And I was like, why? So is that her? Because that refers to her red, her red ledger in the red book from Avengers. And I'm like, is that what you were referring to? Really? That's like the worst thing to refer to. You should have said that maybe she is double-crossed maybe her former country where she was originally from, something like that. That like, I used to be Russian, but I'm not, because I don't. We
both know she wouldn't be worthy to pick up the hammer because of her body count.
Yeah, exactly. That's what that's what they should have made it be. That, like, look, I'm not as good as you may think, even though I'm trying to be. You know what I mean? Like, that would be much better.
Because let's be real, dude. She killed a lot of Hydra agents in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
The only difference is they don't show blood, but all those folks were dead.
Exactly.
A punch from Thor and Hulk kills you.
Yeah. Thor runs through.
Thor was punching people left and right.
Yeah. The only person you could claim didn't kill anyone was technically Iron Man. Why? Because he can put his blasters to stun. That's literally it.
I believe he has his blasters set to knockout.
Yeah, but not even Cap. If Cap were to punch you, I mean, he can probably hold his punches, but let's be real. Like,
but even in Winter Soldier,
he
threw the knife through the guy's hand and then he punched him, and then he was knocking people over.
Yeah, and then what about the beginning segment of Age of Ultron, where he basically flips his bike onto the car? Look, those guys who fell out died. Just call it what it is. And the guys in the car died also. So but again, it's just that whole setup.
And we know what the Hulk was doing, because he was just, when Thor made the comment, "Oh yeah, you were killing people left and right."
Yeah, the gates of hell. Hear the screams of his foes. Oh, I meant the whimpering and breaks and stuff like that. No scream, no death, no death.
And then the one thing I didn't like was how they wanted to use Natasha to be his calm me down and sing me a lullaby and all this other crap. It's not the Hulk be.
I mean, I do agree. It's a little off of that, but I mean, I like the lullaby side, in the sense that I was hoping to me, this is how I would have written it. They worked out a lullaby. They figured she was the best one to do, not just because she's a woman, but because she is a spy. She can She can give off fake emotion. She can naturally do that. That's what she does. And then Banner starts maybe getting confused and thinking, maybe, like, I think she likes me. Like, Cap said, she likes
me. That's another thing.
And then she now pulls up and says, I do like you. I mean, we're friends and partners, but just not like that. Like, I don't have space for that kind of stuff because my whole life has so many secrets that I just don't want to get to.
See, and that's the thing. They built this kind of romance for this movie where we never got it. Like, maybe if they would have hinted towards the end of the first Avengers that, hey, I'm kind of digging you a little bit with your little geeky nerd self.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's never that.
Technically, this is the next movie where they see each other again.
Yeah, no, it's not even that, though. You don't have to finalize it here. If you're going to continue that, right, then maybe play it a little bit in Civil War, when we get to Civil War, where she's now missing him. And she's like, I didn't realize I actually cared. You know what I mean? Like, so that we go, oh, she does have a soul. She's not that rigid person.
Well, you kind of get that at the end when Nick Fury walks up. Hey, we think this is Banner, but we're really not sure. Because, Stark's technology is just too good to crack.
Yeah.
Of course, because he deciphers all your crap real quick. He ain't going to let you do that to him.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, it was interesting. Anyway, let's finalize with Ant-Man.
Fun at the time, but that was another one I didn't rewatch.
Ant-Man was one I don't like watching. I've watched it a couple of times again, or I've had it playing in the background, and it's one of my least favorites Marvel movies. So yes, this is below The Incredible Hulk. I prefer that movie. The reason is, I mean, a couple of things. Number one, Ant-Man was always supposed to create Ultron in my mind.
Okay, so you want to go that way?
No. But that's just one thing, and that's set aside. And I get it in this universe, it's fine. But what I didn't like was the villain in Ant-Man was very forgettable.
Yellow Jacket
just didn't fit. Paul Rudd did a good job for what they wanted him to do in the movie. I'm fine with that. I just felt like Ant-Man really feels very out of place in the MCU. Other than Civil War, him needed in Civil War. And I like the way they brought him in, but in all honesty, like Ant-Man just doesn't fit into this universe properly at all. I mean, so for me, it was one of those. And then it just wasn't a movie that I felt like, I don't know. When I watched it, I think my review then, and at least when I was thinking, I was like, it's a great movie to go watch with your kids. If you got a younger kid, maybe 10 or something, you want to watch a Marvel movie with, that's a great movie because there's a lot of that family dynamic. It felt like a Disney movie. That's why I need. It felt like a Disney heist movie.
You know what they could have done back in Age of Ultron was say, oh, this is a technology that my father was working on with Hank Pym before they fell out. And I found it in the archives.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice way.
That would have been a good way to do it. And then maybe you might have not been so.
No, it's not that. I mean, that was like, that's the comic book side of me. But like the film side of me, just kind of looked at it and went, it felt like a Disney movie. It didn't feel like an MCU movie. You know what I mean?
But you want to know what I'm noticing is his movie was, it's part of the universe, but it doesn't feel like it connects well. And I think Ant-Man and the Wasp was going to do that too because he's not in Infinity War.
And
if he is, he's got like a very
small role,
minor role.
He's bigger in. I think he's in the fourth movie. Would be bigger in.
Okay, but what good is the fourth movie when you could have utilized him in this movie because his movie's the last one out this year?
Oh man, whatever, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
We're what, 10 days away? No, 12 actually.
12 days. So next Sunday will be our last episode on this series. Fun. Next ones are more fun to watch. We already watched at least one of them, Black Panther, in that
See,
mix.
I wouldn't mind watching that again. The problem is I'm not.
No, I mean there's no need to. We've already seen
Well,
it.
no, because the sad thing is, if they would have left this Avengers Infinity War in May, but more towards the middle, we could have added Black Panther to the mix because it comes out next month on digital HD.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. But they moved it up to spare Han Solo disgrace.
I don't know, man. Han Solo, I think, is going to actually do pretty well. The last
Uh,
trailer got me intrigued
the
more.
last I told you the last trailer. So I watched it with Sam. I was at his place. You sent us a link. We cast it on TV and watched the trailer. And I was like,
So, were you guys doing the whole little finger gesture to the TV and
no,
all this
no.
other stuff?
That's what Juan wants. He wants to go like that. I don't have time for that kind of stuff. Uh,
Richie asked, "Didn't Silver Surfer fight Thanos?" He probably did and got his ass whooped.
yeah, he fought Thanos recently. He killed Thanos.
Oh, but wasn't he the one who fell through? Or are they pulling? Because isn't we know the Hulk when he falls through the sanctuary? But wasn't that Silver Surfer who did that in the comics?
Well, Sanctuary where? Sorry.
Doctor Strange's home in New York.
I
Because you know how they cherry pick.
yeah. I'm not sure. I haven't read that the Infinity Wars comic is something I haven't read fully, so I don't know. Again, like I know more DC comics than I know Marvel, which is why I'm wearing this shirt instead of a Marvel
Yeah,
shirt.
it's funny. You're wearing Flash. I'm wearing a Superman.
Yeah, I just know more DC stories. I can tell you, okay, maybe this or that. But what was I gonna say? I'm interested in Phase 4. There's been a lot of talk of using what's his name again? From The Office, the guy who just did the cool horror
I
movie.
know he's about the guy from The Quiet Place.
Quiet Place, he and his wife as Mr. Fantastic. And I was like, I'm
Now,
all for that. I'm good with that because he can be funny. Now that's a guy who's funny without actually giving you laugh out jokes.
where are you?
Kaczynski.
Uh-huh.
I just can't remember
Now,
his name.
here's an interesting lineup that it's
Fan made.
Emergency Awesome put up on his Instagram page to where
Okay.
I think would be great. Out the gate, instead of Ant-Man and the Wasp being the start of Phase 4, they would have went with Spider-Man Academy, Black
So
Widow,
so
Leviathan.
so don't think of Ant-Man and the Wasp as the end of beginning of Phase 4. It's the end of Phase 3, technically.
Again, I don't need the movie, but I'll watch it.
It's the end of it's not the beginning of Phase 4. It really isn't because they haven't announced Phase 4. You know that, right?
True, but
Yeah. No.
we all know. Well, technically, most likely,
No,
the next
because
Infinity
remember
War.
the reason why they had it is because the movie did well. So you're going to do a sequel no matter what.
Uh-huh.
So it's still Phase 3. Anyway, Spider-Man Academy.
Oh, but did you hear this? I read an interesting thing. Hellcat in Jessica Jones.
Mm-hmm.
She was originally going to be Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, but then they announced the movie and they scrapped the idea and they made her Trish instead.
Well, there's no way Captain Marvel is too big of a character to put on the TV show.
Yeah, but you know how they do these things where
that was probably a long time ago when Feige was answering to the TV boss.
So, but
yeah.
But then the next one would have been the Wasp Escape the Microverse, a Nova movie. I don't know about Nova. Warlock. We still haven't gotten Warlock because he's going to be in Volume 3. So unless they're going, oh, I'm reading it downward. Maybe they would have went sideways. Sideways goes Spider-Man, Strange, Illuminati. Then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Black Widow, Leviathan. What does that her Russian ties?
Leviathan is a mythical beast. But anyway, Illuminati can't work.
Well, because you need Reed Richards and Professor X.
And Namor.
You can still introduce Namor.
Yeah, but you definitely need Reed Richards and Professor X. So that is so Illuminati is not happening anytime soon. It will even happen. It doesn't fit to the current Marvel structure. It can happen within a movie because they can all meet, like how Tony Stark will plan something, like that kind of stuff. That can happen. But I don't think that's going to be the play here. To me, I think phase 4 will be Spider-Man. Then I think it's going to be Fantastic Four. They're going to announce it this year. And I think after Fantastic Four, it's going to be, you're looking at Guardians 3, and then which is basically Adam Warlock, that you're bringing Warlock in that as well. And then you're also introducing Nova. No Doom? Nah. I don't think you're doing Doom. I think what's going to happen is after Avengers, the 4th Avengers movie, or whatever it's called, that is where the split in reality happens. Either split reality or another verse happens that you bring in the Fox characters, mutants around. It has to be something that causes.
See, there's a problem there too.
Yeah.
How Fox now we're not getting X-Men in November, and it might be because of some of the actors can't get back, as we know they're still filming Game of Thrones.
Well, they say they're making number one. They say they're making it a full-on horror movie now.
Well, that's New Mutants.
New Mutants, but even though, but both of them were pushed. Both of them were pushed.
But like I said, New Mutants got pushed even further back.
Like I said, it's all because of the Disney deal, and Disney is basically assured them that, look, I mean, with this deal, you have to rewrite some stuff. Like stuff needs to change. Like New Mutants as a movie can happen because it's this, or maybe what happens is that literally Fantastic Four is the one that bridges the two universes, and the X-Men universe is a separate universe. They create a movie multiverse. They could do that if they wanted to. And that's where the Fantastic Four have been the whole time.
We'll have to wait until the summer of 2019.
And they will retcon some astronaut launch somewhere, and that's where the Fantastic Four disappeared. You know, now they always retcon things, mini. You know, they'll tell you in the year whatever, 1998, like Spider-Man: Homecoming. You're like, nah, that doesn't make any sense. That's a little off.
Well, what happened was when we sent Carol Danvers out into space to fight the Kree, we also sent Reed Richards, his wife, the Thing, and Johnny Storm with them. And they went somewhere else, but now they're all back.
Yeah, like I said, and look, here's the thing. If they tried this in a Batman movie or Superman movie, people will curse DC out. That's just it.
People will curse DC out because they just cursed DC out.
Yeah. Like, imagine if they do a Batman movie and then they retcon that Batman knew who Superman was before Man of Steel or some shit like that. Even, I mean, I would be pissed too because I don't like this kind of retcon.
No, not Batman. Lex knew all along.
No. We all know Lex knew all along. That's not the one who. So no, Lex. A new character who, Flash, Barry. Barry figured out Batman's identity before he even met him, and
because he went to the future and saw it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah. Speaking of that, though, Snyder has been just on
unleashing all sorts of shit.
On Vero, just putting up some nuggets there. It's cool though. It's cool to see. I think he's campaigning for a Snyder cut. I think this is his way of doing it, and it all depends. To me, if I'm DC, it behooves them to have a Snyder cut of Justice League for December.
Put it out in theaters.
Nah, just drop it on Blu-ray. Drop it on Blu-ray. I guarantee you, it would sell more than Justice League has done.
Look, I know this is off topic and all this, but how are you enjoying Krypton?
It's okay. I mean,
We need to
it's
bring back our superhero show.
yeah. I mean, look, we okay. Here's the thing: we're on a channel that we are not running ads on here. We can't because we have very little watch time. So, guys, thanks for watching. And to me, it's just a matter of is it beneficial for my time to actually do that? Because we have
An
board at work,
hour out of the week.
we have board at work, we have um on board, board gamer, and then we have on board here. I mean, we can do that. We can try and bring it back. I
We
mean,
need to, bro. We've got the Expanse back.
oh no, the Expanse.
Westworld is back next week.
Yeah, see, Westworld it's gonna be a little difficult. Like, so here's the thing: Game of Thrones will go back to board at work because that is the final season, and we've been doing it there, and that's where everybody knows it is. Westworld, did we do Westworld here or board at work?
Board at work. Everything was always done on Board at Work. Everything changed when you decided to create this channel.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see with Westworld is a Sunday show, so we could probably do that as well. So,
well, we did. I know Andrew wanted to join, so you might want to reach out, see if he's still in.
Oh yeah, so Westworld will come back on board at work. Expanse will be back here. We'll do Expanse, and we'll talk Expanse and maybe Krypton together, something like that. So,
because you said you couldn't watch it live.
No, I can't. I have
the Sci-Fi app. You can watch it on the Sci-Fi app.
Live?
Yes, I did this past week. The question is, I don't know if you have someone's login.
Well, I'll figure that part out. Don't worry.
You have to get the login, but other than that, you can watch them. You can watch Krypton and The Expanse live. It's just
okay.
It's a little annoying because of the commercials.
Cool. All right, we'll do.
But we also got this. How is Oliver being outwitted by a drug dealer? Are you caught up with Arrow?
Episode 16, yeah.
It's like, and then Legends was such a great season, but yet they pulled what they pulled in the season finale.
I haven't watched the season finale yet. Black Lightning has been the show that I've enjoyed.
Season finale this week.
It's been dope. It's been cool. I enjoyed Black Lightning, so
I'm liking it.
I hope they keep it short and sweet. I know Supergirl is coming back. I don't care.
Once Oliver Queen puts it into the universe that he's looking forward to a crossover with Black Lightning, so that's happening next season.
Yeah, because the show is the worst show of all of them right now.
It's because of their stupid back and forth writing. And I'm sorry, my cousin brought up a very good point. Damien Dark needs to be the main villain on Legends of Tomorrow because what he did this season here is classic. Talking to a dead guy on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, it was
he's
cool.
Comedic gold.
Yeah, Damien Dark as a villain needs to. Yeah, Gotham is terrible. Nobody watches. Do I like Krypton? I like Krypton so far.
I'm enjoying Krypton. I like a story that
they're doing a little Game of Thrones. I wish they went full Game of Thrones with Krypton. To me, here's the thing. Here's the thing that and this is what probably like I see what. So Sam watched the first episode and he's like, and I get it because Krypton wants to be Game of Thrones in space, but it's not committed to be Game of Thrones in space. That's the thing. The reason I say that is that already we are moving really fast on Brainiac getting there. I don't care that Brainiac is coming right now. I like the whole mess that's going on with the different houses. I want to know more houses than just
Zod, that one chick's house.
I can't remember.
And then the House of L.
I want to know more houses. I want to know how different all the houses are. I want to see the political intrigue that's in there. That's where they've made a mistake already with Krypton.
You could have set up, if you have a plan, Brainiac could have been introduced as your big overarching villain.
Oh yeah, no.
All the seasons.
Yeah, exactly. Brainiac is coming. Brainiac sends his thing. That thing infects one person, and now it's this thing that behaves human-like. It doesn't behave like a robot because it's trying to move its way up, not just to a data center, but to the right person in power. Like, hey, go to
The
the
raw
voice of
guy.
Ra. Okay, yeah, I get it. You get to the house, the voice of Ra. Fine, right? But that should have been season finale end, right there.
Yeah, not episode 4.
Yeah, that's my problem with it. Is that it's already rushing. If you gave us the intrigue of different houses, if you told us, so you've told us Krypton is a desolate world. How is Kandor dealing with other cities? Is there conflict between cities? Because we know there are different cities in Krypton. So do they mingle? Is there? I mean, like, build this world. Like, take time and build Krypton. Because if you build it, what Krypton didn't learn is that they should have looked at Expanse. Expanse took its time to build a world. I knew the Belters. I understood that the Belters hated Earthlings, and they thought the Martians were just like, dictators who would just come and smack them left and right. I knew humans were being a little lazy, but they still felt like we still have the bluest planet. Even though we've kind of wrecked it, it's still the best planet to live on without any special stuff. And the Martians were like, we have to be cutthroat. We have to stay there. So Krypton needs to slow down. It needs to slow.
You want to know what Krypton could have learned from, honestly? Vikings.
I haven't watched Vikings since season 2, I think.
Vikings is history's version of Game of Thrones, just not as political, like with all the different houses, but it has that kind of feel. It took an ordinary farmer, made him a king, but it didn't do it in the first season. It did it within the first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And then in the third, going into the fourth, it showed a different style of conflict. Bro, Vikings is a great show to watch.
Oh yeah, I know Vikings is. I'm just saying that that's what Krypton should be.
Yeah.
And I was hoping for that, where it's the different houses. So now you meet somebody from it. Like next week, I want them to introduce somebody from a different house. Somebody who maybe wanted their son to marry that girl.
See, that's what makes it interesting as well. You have Grandpa messing with the girl from the house of Zod. It's like, yo, I get it. This is what 200 years before Superman is born. Like, how does everything change going forward?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like we see in the movie universe, Zod is white. So in here, they're of black descent. Do they change? And then one complaint was they all have a British voice. I don't care. I'm cool with it.
It's just the actors you have. It doesn't even matter about that. Come on, whatever. Don't be silly. Whoever said that.
Yeah, I know.
But even Zod's grandmother, right? Her husband to be, what's his house? Where's what's his? I mean, like he's supporting her. It looks like to me he's eventually going to end up with him at some point. But then is he of a lower class? That's why the child keeps the name Zod. Is that what it is? Because I mean, what we know in the society right now is that it's not whether you're male or female who gets the family name. It's your family status. So remember when he said, you're going to marry my daughter, Sagel, and you will bear my family name. That's just, so basically whoever she married, because Zods are the top military family, then, you're bearing the child in her name. Because women don't have to give birth. The children are made, right?
Yeah, this is freaking made by a computer.
Yeah, it's made. So you don't have to give birth. So it's
is that the codex?
Yeah, it's just basically the codex, same thing. So it's that. I mean, they're keeping still a lot of stuff from. I haven't watched season 2 of Legion yet. It's on my back
only burner. 2 episodes in so far.
Yeah, it's on my back burner. But I mean, like, I would like to see. Like I said, if they slowed it down and they spent this season just building out the houses, and then the one part I didn't like is the fact that they didn't believe that there was life in the galaxy. That part I think they shouldn't have done. But I guess maybe it would shock them, and then you're going to see Hawkman and the rest of them come in and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, didn't we see a trailer with one of the Hawks?
No. Maybe we will see this season. Yeah,
I could have swore there was a trailer where we saw a Hawk, but
since we're talking some news and guys are here, have you seen the images from Titans?
Yeah, I have. I'm intrigued.
I'm a bit disappointed with Starfire's look, and
yeah, didn't she have straight hair?
No, Starfire is the cast. So there was brouhaha because the cast of Black Girl, but Starfire is orange. So the set photo shows her, but the set photo shows her in a weird outfit
with orange hair,
with pink hair, and pink? Yeah, pink hair, and she's just herself. Now we don't know what that scene is because it could be one of those where she decides to go to a club and they disguise her as that. If you get my, like one of those scenes where maybe they go out and Beast Boy, the photo of Beast Boy had him in his traditional looking jacket, but
green hair,
just green hair, normal dude. And then Raven looked like a goth girl pretty much.
Look, as long as they don't make Beast Boy like Vixen, where he touches something and the shadow comes out.
No, but I mean, that's literally Vixen.
Because I've noticed they didn't have no green dots on his face for CGI or
unless of course this Beast Boy will just transform to different animals. We'll see, but in the comic book he's green.
He's green. In all the movies he's green.
So we'll see how that. The only outfits that look good have been Robin and Hawk and Dove. There are two official ones that they put out. Those looked on point. So I was like, all right, we'll wait and see. That's launching with the network at the end of the year. I
thought it was coming out sooner.
No,
like in the summer because they wanted to do Young Justice by the end of the year.
No, when I say end of the year, I mean like it's going to premiere at Comic-Con and then it's going to launch. I think maybe a couple of weeks to a month afterwards. It's still not that much.
100 comes back next week.
I haven't watched the last 2 seasons of 100.
Oh my god! Oh, you're slipping.
Dude, I enjoyed the 100 and it got a little CW-ish back again. Like it's 100 for me. Like the first 2 seasons was just not. There was no CW-ness in that show. I was like, yo, a show with young kids. There's no CW drama, and then it got a little CW-ish where
it's funny. We're calling them young kids, but these actors are in their late 20s and early 30s.
I know. I mean, just saying the idea of young kids. You know what I mean?
No, but the end of season 4. Where we're going now for season 5, whole new threat.
So all I know is that there were nukes about to blow up around the world at the end of season 3, right?
Season 4.
No, season 3.
Well,
yeah, okay.
That's what took place a lot of season 4.
All right, fine. So that's what I need to jump into. So I'll jump into the 100. It's on Netflix. I'll go ahead and watch that.
Oh man,
I'm about to. I need to do some work, but then I'm
Lost in Space.
So Lost in Space, I need to watch. So I'm going to be watching
5 episodes in, only 10 episode season.
I know a lot of people have been complaining about it.
Oh, you know what? They could go kick rocks and eat a donkey's. You know what? The show is good. I'm sorry, but Netflix has been killing it with their cinematographers because visually, their shows have been looking good.
Oh, I mean, the cinematographer is on point. The one is especially they'll be using the same people. You know, the guy who did Daredevil season 1 is the guy who did Altered Carbon, which just looked absolutely fantastic. This one looks good too as well. So,
like I said, I'm 5. I could have literally finished it if I didn't want to watch Age of Ultron, and if I didn't go out yesterday, I would have finished it.
Oh yeah, by the way, we should all say a big happy birthday to Mr. Lou Rod. He turned a young, spry 25 again.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah. So, Voltron.
Haven't watched it.
You should watch it. It's good. I like it. I like.
I literally need to watch
the last 2 seasons. Right?
Season 3, episode 6.
Two season 4. Yeah.
To see all the way up to where they are.
The jokes they've calmed down on those jokes. It's now like sometimes I'm like, I need some jokes, and then they come. I'm like, good. That's how it's supposed to be. No, it's not as cheesy as like the first 2 seasons were. But yeah,
it was.
It's good. It's good.
I like the robot in Lost in Space.
Okay.
So
cool. We'll do something with Lost in Space. Maybe.
Oh man, and I'm pretty sure you'll get it too. The villain in Lost in Space, you hate her from Rip.
Oh yeah, so what's the name?
She's a great villain.
It's the doctor, right? She's like, I'm a doctor or whatever. I know who the villain is. I mean, I've seen the trailers anyway, so.
Yeah, so it's like when the things that you seen what she did to get where she is like, I don't like you, lady.
Okay.
But it's a good show. I'm liking it so far.
Good. That's good. It's good to hear. All right, cool, guys. Thank you very much. Again, guys, let us know what you want us to cover and watch. Like this channel is about movies. So what we'll try and do is I'm going to try and set up a schedule so we can do stuff. And I think the first thing we're going to do is do some Blu-ray reviews, which is what Lou has been handling anyway.
Yeah, I've been slacking on that. Here's one real quick. Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay. Oh my God!
So
they redeemed themselves from that hodgepodge that was Gotham. That crap.
All right, so where's our review, Lou? Come on.
I'm giving it to you now.
No. Lou's gonna drop that on Tuesday because Blu-rays come out around Tuesday or so. So
that was good. Oh, that was actually a really good movie. Rampage. Don't listen to the critics. It is a fun, dumb popcorn movie.
Yeah, I figured as much. So anyway, here's the thing. We're going to try and give you at least 2 videos a week on this channel. One will be a movie review, most likely a Blu-ray or something like that. The second one would be a live show. And starting at least Wednesday, our live show would be Expanse and Krypton coming together. So hopefully you guys watch that. And help us out so we can at least get the channel moving, growing. Because like I said, I have 2 other channels and, so me it's just time. It's just about time reference, because I'll spend hours chatting about movies I like, but I mean, gotta pay bills. So
Den of Thieves. It is another movie that was.
Okay. Look, don't be telling me stuff.
See, I could do better reviews with it back and forth.
I don't have time. I don't. So there we go.
You can interview me on the movie.
No.
We can take 5 minutes out the day. You interview me, and I give you my perspective to see if you want to watch it.
This is how lazy Lou is.
Not lazy. It's just how it works better for me.
No.
I don't have that charisma like you do.
That's just Lou being lazy. All right, guys.
It's not laziness.
Thank you very much. If you're joining us for the first time, please subscribe.
Immortal Blade. Rarely.
We will check out. I'll try and check out Immortal Blade. But subscribe to the channel. Make sure you try and watch videos and stay tuned. This week, Lou, please Suicide Squad so we can have it on Tuesday for people. And also Den of Thieves, since you talked about that. And also Rampage. You got 3 videos to make, bro.
I'm not making the Rampage because, that one
already. Okay, fine. 2. Lou has 2 videos for you, and then we'll have a live show on Wednesday. And then come
Wednesday or Thursday? Because if you want to do both shows, unless we're going to watch them both live and then go, that would be going live at midnight.
Okay, that's true, yeah. So Thursday, we'll do a show on Thursday. Yeah, we do a live show on Thursday and then come back next Sunday, 7 p.m. for our final Phase 3 in the Marvel Universe. So thank you very much. And
we're going to have 2 shows next Sunday.
Always enjoy your entertainment.